there is just one thing that is going to bring Africa to its knees. There's just one thing that can break the Africa you see today, and it can do so in a very short time. Now, let us go back to history. Africa has survived colonization and all the ills it came with. Africa still survived all the pandemics that have plagued Africa. All the pandemics, the illnesses, the diseases, the plagues. Recently was 2020 COVID. Africa still emerged and is still standing strong. But there is one thing, just one thing, that is going to break Africa in a twinkle of an eye. And that thing is the kind of content given to the youth to watch. If this is your first time on this platform, like, share, and subscribe. Hello and welcome. My name is Gillian, and this is the Enlightenment series. Enlightenment series, we discuss trends that are happening right before you. You turn blind eyes to these trends, and these trends can have impending dangers. Now, we are going to be talking about that one thing that can destroy Africa in less than no time. In less than no time, you heard me right. Like I earlier mentioned, Africa has stood the test of time. Africa survived colonialism and all the ills that came with colonialism. We all know about the story. The pain, the stress, and everything that happened in the colonial era. And now, we have all kinds of pandemic that have plagued Africa. Africa still emerged. Yes, recently was the 2020 pandemic. It is no news that in Africa, war is the norm of the day. Social unrest, civil war, and all kinds of wars you can imagine has plagued Africa, and Africa is still standing strong. This is to tell you that all these things, we can manage these things and still live strong and still emerge winners. Now, there is one thing that if not looked into, in less than no time, Africa is going to be destroyed. The kind of content given to the youths on social media platforms. Now, this is the most difficult thing to understand. But if you try to reason out with me, you get a better understanding of what I'm trying to say. The easiest way to destroy a people is by destroying their youth, their youthful population, because it is said that the youths are the future of tomorrow. So what then happens to a generation or to a people whose youths have been destroyed? So the easiest way to destroy any country is to attack and destroy the youths. Now, arms have failed, wars have failed, pandemics have failed, and other things have failed. The next thing I urge every one of you to watch out for, every government, every individual, every parent, as a matter of fact, are the kind of contents you allow your children to watch. This is going to destroy Africa. It is going to destroy in less than no time. Now, imagine a scenario where they pass on advertisement on the TV, for instance. You'd realize that because it is an advertisement, they pass it over and over, over and over, over and over. You'd realize that there is a time you would want to make purchase just because you have seen it too many times, not that you actually need that product. This now is your subconscious in action. So if you see something repeatedly, it goes down straight into your subconscious, and you begin to manifest or react to the things you have seen. Naturally, human beings are visual beings. They learn more or they learn faster when they see. They learn quick when they see. So now, what they watch has a vital role to play as far as their behavior is concerned. as far as their future is concerned. Now, go to social media, you will see all types of things going on there. And these things come in stages, repeatedly. Nobody is there to regulate what the youth, especially in Africa, watches. It is no news that none of the platforms are owned by Africa or a country in Africa or an African for that matter. This is where it now becomes a problem to the whole continent of Africa, because our youths are at stake here. This is where I now see a problem. Come and be enlightened. Now, I am not saying that the social media is bad. Of course, everything has good and bad in it. So is the social media. But what I am concerned about is the future of us, Africans, and our youths. This is where the problem begins. I am not saying that the social media is bad. Not at all. The social media is very, very good. And in all things, there are bad and good sides of it. I am only trying to draw our attention to our continent, Africa, and to the youths who are the future of tomorrow. We have a certain way we grow our children up, but we would realize that some of these morals have disappeared to the thing. You can't say where these morals went to. They have just disappeared and people have been changing. Please do not misquote me. There is what we call civilization, but civilization comes and our morals should still stay intact. The naked women we see today wasn't a thing of our culture. The rate of divorce we have today wasn't a thing of our culture. The kind of family setups we now have, I do not understand where we have come from with all of these things. But now I bring this to your notice. Get enlightened about what content you allow your children to watch. Governments, regulate the content your youths are watching, because in less than no time, Africa will be destroyed because of this. Forget that we have survived the ills that have plagued our continent for so long. That is because we are a strong people, we are a resistant people. But it doesn't mean that we cannot have weaknesses or loopholes that can bring down the continent in a matter of time. Now, if you keep watching something which is wrong repeatedly, it gets straight into your subconscious mind. That makes that thing correct to you. To make somebody have urge to steal, just show him how people steal and they succeed with it, and after succeeding with stealing, they now live a lavish life. That passes on the message. You don't need to point a gun at his head for him to pick his arms and start robbing people. You don't need to tell a lady to go out there and do prostitution. Just project the life of a prostitute and the gains after prostitution. She'll willingly get into the streets, and before you know it, we will now have streets full with prostitutes. We will no longer have people. In fact, we are the cause of our own problems. Let me put it that way. We are the cause of our own problems. I do not remember one day. I don't remember how we encourage excellence, how we encourage those good things, those morals that we so desire. I don't see how governments promote that. I don't want to mention any shows, but we have shows that our government sponsor, the rich and mighty in Africa, they sponsor, that doesn't really project our morals. It doesn't really give us anything to write home about. So please, let us be enlightened. Let us look at this thing seriously. The kind of content that we let our children watch are going to destroy them in less than no time. A country like China has regulation against the kind of content they show to their youths. You don't just watch anything in China. You don't just browse the internet like you wish. You don't find the kind of information that is going to destroy you on the internet in China. Does it mean they don't have access to those things? They do. Okay, another case is South Korea. We understand that South Korea is a dictatorship, but you bet with me that there is a good side of that dictatorship, which is their morals. It is still intact. You don't do anyhow around there. You don't try that. You don't, all this public show of shame is not possible in North Korea. I am not saying that we should all move into a dictatorship. No. I am urging for us to see, or for us to be enlightened about the kind of content we put before our youths. Once the youths have the wrong perceptions of life, that is how everything is going to go wrong. You see bad governance. Do you ask questions or reasons for bad governance in Africa today? Do you ask? When the politician gets to power, see the lifestyle he lives. See the way he even gets to power. Now tell me, how is this going to end? A people who don't feel for their own. How is this all going to end? It is just going to be a vicious cycle. After this one steps down, another one goes, and continue with the same style, with the same way of government. Please, our governments, especially in Africa, regulate the content our youths are watching. The kind of things they see is enough to destroy the entire continent in less than no time, and we do not want this. We have stood the test of time. We have faced all kinds of challenges and have succeeded. That doesn't give us the guarantee to continue putting a blind eye to the kind of content our youths watch. Our morals can still be reinstated. We can still be who we used to be. So I urge you out there, parents, regulate what your children watch at home. Teach your children. Teach them the morals that you want them to have. Teach them the kind of things that you want them to be. I do not intend for the video to be too long. If this is your first time on this platform, like, share, and subscribe so you receive notifications once I upload new videos.